right, good morning. Super 93.3 FM Port Harcourt. It's 4 minutes past 8 o'clock, and you are still on the Super Breakfast Show. I trust you're doing good. Perhaps you're stuck in traffic. Let's make the entire trip worth your while. Welcome to the review. So real quick, for the next 35 minutes, thereabouts, we will be looking at the stories that are trending, stories that have made headlines, and these stories you would find on front pages of newspapers in the country. My name is Obi Ivy, and joining me over the phone is a communications analyst, a social commentator, political analyst as well, Marcus Ijoma. Good to have you on the program.
Good morning, Obi. Good to have you. Good to be here with you.
Absolutely. All right. So quite a number of stories are trending right now, but let's quickly look at the ones that we have selected, and hopefully we have enough time to talk about them. Okay, so a quick run through, first of all. It says here that troops raid Boko Haram illegal markets, kill 4 terrorists in Borno. We also have more stories saying police arrest 7 suspected kidnappers and armed bandits. Military kills 8 bandits in Plateau. And in another report, it says scores killed as troops' military airstrikes attack Boko Haram territory and ISWAP hideout in Bama Forest. What do you think? This, for me, I think is kudos to security forces in the country. What do you think, though?
Yeah, for me, I think we should take one bottle on the military this morning. That's some good news. Yeah, everybody should just take a bottle on the Nigerian Army, the Air Force, and the police. When they do well, we should be able to commend them and boost their morale, because morale booster is critical to security strategy. So kudos to the Nigerian Armed Forces and kudos to the Nigerian police. They should keep up the pace. I don't think we should be reactive. We should be proactive, and I think that's what they have done. Before they attack them, neutralize them before they even think of the next action.
Absolutely. I quite agree with you. Well said. Yeah. All right, moving away from there now. It says that Chris Ngige, it turns 70, and the President, Muhammadu Buhari, thinks of him as someone who is very passionate about the workforce in Nigeria. I don't know, how Nigerians are reacting to this particular one. But it says Labour Minister at 70, Ngige puts interest of workers first, says President Buhari. What do you think?
Action, not words. We want to see that interest in action. We have a section of our workforce, especially those working for the federal government on strike. But by that, I mean ASU. The doctors, I don't know if their issues have been resolved. We want to see that interest. And then pensioners and all of that, everybody needs to be taken care of. That statement should be better projected by action. Let the federal government, and then looking at the current inflation rate, the federal government do not have to wait for NLC or any union at that to begin to agitate before they increase workers' salary. Because obviously the 30,000 minimum wage will no longer carry anyone anywhere within the month. So federal government should start thinking along that direction. Until we start seeing that, we will not be sure if the federal government really has the interest of workers at heart.
Well, President Muhammadu Buhari says that Ngige always puts the interests of workers first, especially on their wages, salaries, and allowances. And that quite doesn't align with what you've just stated now.
Yeah, what I'm saying, that's what I'm saying, that it's not, they shouldn't be telling us. We should be the one telling them. If you receive a good salary, you will thank your boss, right?
Yes.
So if you receive a pay rise that you did not ask for, your boss just looks at you and feels that, okay, Obiaidi is doing very well, so we need to just raise our pay. Then nobody needs to beg you to appraise your boss very positively. So President Muhammadu Buhari is not part of Nigerian workers, even though he's being paid by the Nigerian government. But I'm sure he has never gone on strike as president over salary issues. So he should not be the one telling us whether Ngige has been paying salaries. Workers who are under Ngige and the Ministry of Labour will be in better position to tell Nigerians if their welfare is good or not. And that's why I'm saying that increase their minimum wage before they ask for it. Inflation has eaten up the other things. So the president should maybe look the other way and allow Ngige to do his job, because I don't think Nigerian workers are smiling right now.
All right, now moving away from there now to a story on the Punch newspaper. It says Nigeria, 3 others top World Bank debtors list. Now, rising debt has pushed Nigeria up the World Bank's top 10 International Development Association borrowers list. And the World Bank fiscal year 2021 audited financial statements, known as the IDA financial statement, showed that Nigeria was rated 5th on the list with $11.7 billion IDA debt stock as of June 30th, 2021. However, the newly released World Bank fiscal year 2022 audited financial statement for IDA showed that Nigeria has moved to number 4 on that list. And on that same list, the top 5 countries on the list strictly reduced their IDA debt stock except Nigeria. Now, India, which is still the first on the list, reduced its IDA debt stock from $22 billion in the previous fiscal year to 19.7, followed by Bangladesh. Then it is also followed by Pakistan, then lastly Vietnam, which went down the list to 5th position. Nigeria came up and overtook Vietnam on that list. And Nigeria has the highest IDA debt in all of Africa. What do you say?
Well, I'm not surprised. But I think what Bank is basically trying to warn Nigerians and Nigeria on the rising debt profile. And then it's still amazing how many people are still contesting for president when they know that the country is in deep debt. I don't know what miracle they are going to do. But on the other hand, what are these things that made World Bank even give Nigeria the loan in the first place? What did World Bank do to supervise the loan to ensure that we don't buy jeeps for Niger when we borrow the money for Nigeria? What did World Bank do to ensure that loans are targeted at specific projects and are used as such? So it makes a lot of people wonder, or some of us to wonder, that probably these loans are meant to keep us perpetually in debt. Not necessarily, they don't really care about what we do with them. Because Nigerian politicians keep borrowing. States are borrowing too, if you know that. States are borrowing from commercial banks and leaving debt for incoming governments. And it looks hopeless right now. We definitely need a messiah to bring us out of this. I don't know why India will pay back part of their own or drop on the list and Nigeria is going higher. We are not just owing World Bank, we are owing a lot of other financial institutions. In fact, recently there was an attempt to borrow from the pension fund. I don't know how successful that was. So it's a bad place to be. If Nigeria was a company, we are in deep problem. We are not making profit at all, and it's a dangerous place to be economically.
All right, let's move away from that particular one now onto politics for a moment. We may move away from politics, but Wike and Atiku camps return. Atiku camps return to trenches, and this is on the Guardian newspaper. And follow-up headlines here say PDP postpones NEC National Caucus meeting over Atiku's absence and fear of Ayu's removal. Postponement not because of Atiku. He prepared for the meeting, aide insists. We'll use our votes against those that say rivers don't matter. Wike sobs Atiku. And, just let me give you some more stories or background on this particular one. It says 4 days after the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Atiku Abubakar, and Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike met and agreed on a framework for the resolution of the differences between them. The rift between the two gladiators appeared to be deepening as their supporters keep driving a wedge in between. Now, they had reached an understanding on Thursday last week at a meeting in Abuja, which held at the residence of a former Minister of Information, that's Professor Jerry Gana, to constitute a team of equal numbers to look at their issues. But that was the first time the two leaders would be meeting since Atiku overlooked Wike. But however, it emerged that the main opposition party yesterday postponed its National Executive Committee meeting because some were pushing for conditions that may be hard to deliver, including the removal of its national chairman, Iyorchia Ayu. What say thou?
Okay, basically, what is happening in the PDP is quite unfortunate that they have not been able to put their house in order up till now. Atiku Abubakar and the person of the governor of Rivers State are very strong personalities, and reaching a compromise between two gladiators is always difficult. Gladiators fight to finish. So Nigerians will sit and watch how this fight benefits all of us.
All right. Let's see how that pans out. You know, yesterday I asked a question and I said, how important is one man in this entire movie that we're watching right now?
That one man is very important. If the one man you're talking about is Governor Nyesom Wike, he is very, very extremely important to the PDP.
All right.
Because when PDP lost in 2015, Wike was like the oxygen that PDP had when he was in coma. You know, and why I mean oxygen, Wike did a lot of positive things for the party, trying to set a ship of leadership, trying to make sure that he galvanized support for the party. He kept the party. It was practically the spokesperson for PDP for the first 5 years, from 2015 to 2019. So I think he deserves better than he's being treated right now, to be fair to the governor.
All right.
To be fair to him, yes.
Okay, let's just take a pause from politics for now and talk about ASUU for one moment. On the cable news this morning, ASUU president made a comment saying Keyamo stance on strike disappointing. Is federal government proud of current system? Now, you remember yesterday, I don't know whether you watched, but Osodeke spoke during a television interview. And he said that the unions, on the union strike, that Keyamo, in an interview days before that, had asked parents to beg the varsity lecturers to call off their strike. The minister added that the federal government will not be blackmailed by ASUU to borrow 1.2 trillion naira in order to meet the demands of the union. So yesterday on the news, on a particular headline, it said that the federal government will not get into any agreement, will not agree to any memorandum or whatever that is unachievable or impossible to implement. And it looks like the federal government has taken a stand to say, well, we can't do what you people are asking. It will be difficult for us to implement, so we can't even enter into it, leaving ASUU the ball to play at this time. And ASUU is responding by saying the comment by Keyamo, yesterday, saying that parents should beg ASUU at this point to go back to school is quite disappointing. But what do you think anyways? On the federal government saying they cannot get into any agreement that they cannot implement, and ASUU insisting that they're not going to call off the strike because it's one thing for the federal government to agree on something, but they've not been known to be trustworthy enough to fulfill their side of the bargain every single time.
Yeah, I quite agree with ASUU on this because it's unfortunate that we misplace our priorities as a country. This is a government that will borrow for railway, borrow to pay salaries, and then you can't borrow to invest in human capital development. Remember the previous headline we talked about World Bank and all of that?
Yes.
If we have borrowed to do physical infrastructure that the government is bragging with as their achievement in government,
yes.
What about the human capital development, which the education staff, those who are going to manage the bridges and the rails, are currently at home. So, so they are currently at home. So the federal government has got to rethink their position. But I think that Keyamo was just under pressure by the journalists who asked him that question. If you ask him that question today, I'm sure he will have a rethink. I think the person that should have spoken on behalf of the federal government is either Chris Ngige or Lai Mohammed. That way we can be sure that this is coming from the federal government. For me, Mr. Keyamo spoke as a spokesman of it would be incoming government of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who is working with his campaign organization. So maybe that's the plan of their campaign organization, not the plan of the federal government. Mr. Keyamo does not speak for federal government, so ASUU should just not take him too serious. That's what I can say for now, but it's rather disappointing from the Honorable Minister for Labour. Okay.
All right, then. Well, let's just take a quick break and we'll continue with this one. Now, if you've just tuned in, this is Super 93.3 FM Port Harcourt. We are your number one family lifestyle talk and urban radio station. It's the review, and we're looking at stories that have made headlines and We have talked about quite a number of those stories, but go over to our social media pages and drop a comment so that we can take them in due course. Super FMPH, if you searched for Super FMPH across all social media platforms, I'm talking Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, all of them, every single one, Super FMPH, leave a comment underneath the poster. And I'm still joined with Mr. Marcus Ijoma in the studio right now. He has made his way to the studio this morning. Okay, as I said, okay, just a moment. Welcome back to the review, still Super 93.3 FM Port Harcourt, and let's move on from there, Mr. Marcus. So, Lagos State University Teaching Hospital is celebrating 60 years, and as part of their celebration, they have they're planning a surgery, a stem cell surgery, you know, and it's quite interesting. First bone marrow transplant. Now, the authorities of the university have announced the readiness of the organization to perform its first bone marrow transplant for the cure of sickle cell anemia as part of the events lined up for the 60th anniversary of the topmost medical institution. Interesting, don't you think?
Very interesting. Nigerians are in dire need of good news, and this is one of those good news.
Absolutely.
We want to have, it's alarming how much we spend on medical tourism in this country, and you wonder if all of these monies were put into local use, how well our hospitals would have been performing now. So kudos to Lagos State University Teaching Hospital, and we're hoping that other university teaching hospitals will take advantage of this challenge and improve on their medical voyage. And then before we know what's happening, we can begin to conserve some of our hard-earned forex
Absolutely.
For the local hospitals,
True.
not necessarily sending them abroad.
True. That's well said. All right, that was a story on Leadership newspaper. Still looking at the Leadership newspaper. It says 4 months after state pardon, Darie Yame, 3 others leave prison. Now, 4 months after the duo of former governor of Plateau State, Joshua Darie, and his counterpart, Jolin Yame of Taraba State, were granted a presidential pardon by President Muhammadu Buhari, respite has finally come their way as the authorities of the Nigerian Correctional Service has released them. Now, apart from the duo and his counterpart, who were released at about 11:30 a.m. From the Kuje Maximum Custodial Center on the orders of the Controller General of the Correctional Service, 3 other inmates from the Suleja prison, among the 157 others who were pardoned by the National Council of State, were also released.
I'm one of the few Nigerians, or one of the many Nigerians, who is not excited about that pardon granted by the federal government in April.
Okay.
Because when you look at how much was spent on prosecution and how many other people's life were damaged by the said looting that was done by these governors. As a matter of fact, it's like turning the present government's success story on its head. Because when that conviction was finally gotten under this present administration, we applauded them, saying that finally we have a former governor, 2 have been successfully prosecuted, something that was not possible leading up to this government. And then you then turn around to pardon. They didn't complete their term in prison, which for me, it's more or less of encouraging orders to say, oh, I can steal as much as I can and then get into prison and get pardon if I'm influential, And then fast forward to yesterday.
The emphasis is on if you're influential enough.
Yes. And then fast forward to yesterday. Those two men don't look like prisoners.
In fact, one of them got a gift of a car.
Yes, an SUV.
Yes, an SUV.
So you look at the pictures and the clothes they're wearing, how fresh they look, and you're asking,
belly still intact.
Yes, and you're wondering, is it the same prison people go to get?
And you know what's even ironic? They were kept in maximum correctional center, and the jailbreak that we saw
didn't go to their area. I think
the jailbreak was a medium security prison.
So why do you keep terrorists in medium and keep corrupt political officers in maximum?
And that's then you pardon the ones.
The thing about looting and corruption is that, yes, the terrorists must have planted the bomb, blew up 5 people, kidnapped 10 people, and do all of that. But 1 billion naira can cost the deaths of over 100 pregnant women once the hospital is not fixed. 1 billion naira that could be used to patch all the bad spots between Port Harcourt and Uyo can save.
This is Eleme section
from Eleme Junction
Road.
to. I'm not an engineer, but I can almost tell you for sure. From Eleme Junction to Trailer Park will not cost up to 1 billion naira if you want to patch all the bad spots. And just imagine how much time has been lost.
And lives
that have been lost. And that money, we have a way of pampering financial crime, and it encourages people. Nobody gets life sentence for stealing money in this country.
And no one even does life if they get it.
Yes. No, if you're poor, you will get it. You will do it. There are a lot of people on death row.
Let me shock you with a story on the Vanguard this morning. It says that inmates of Owerri prisons spends 14 years awaiting trial.
Good. There we go again. Because we had a political case in Rivers State recently. Someone bought governorship form and then there was disagreement over screening and he was arrested. In less than 3 months, he got bailed. But take a trip to Port Harcourt, the same facility. You are going to meet people there. I have contact with a few NGOs, religious bodies that have done 1 or 2 outreaches in prison. You're going to see people who have been in this prison and their fine is as low as 15,000. As low as 15,000, and they are kept there. But for whatever reason, no matter the bail condition you give to these big prisoners, they tend to meet their condition faster than the poor. So there's a lot that needs to be done with our justice system.
Absolutely. Our
laws need to be strengthened. I don't know why someone who kills someone should get life or death, and someone who stole money that also killed, maybe their negligence also killed other people, will get 6 months, 6 years, and then it will run concurrently, and all of the legal stories we hear at the end. So I'm not excited about it, even though it's the right of the federal government to pardon whoever they want to pardon.
Now, speaking about financial crimes or financial issues, the Senate probes how 1.7 trillion naira SWV was utilized in 2017 to 2021 budgets by MDAs. Now, the Senate has begun a probe on how federal ministries, departments, and agencies, MDAs, utilize over 1.7 trillion naira service-wide votes allocation disbursed to them 2017 to 2021. It is also carrying out this holistic investigation through the Committee on Public Accounts led by Senator Matthew Urogide, People's Democratic Party, Edo South. And speaking during a meeting of the committee yesterday, Urogide noted that beneficiary government agencies needed to give explanation on how they utilized the funds.
It's coming late. Again, I am not excited. The Nigerian Senate have, over the time, proven to Nigerians that they are toothless bulldogs. That's just the truth. Because we've seen probe upon probe, and nothing comes out of it. When you say, they will say, oh, investigation take a lot of time. Oh, they slow arm of the law. What was that cliche we use again? Justice grinds slowly.
Right.
But we see the type that is grinding in UK now. It's grinding very fast. Why is it that when it comes
Maybe we don't have enough judges.
No, we do. We do.
Maybe we don't have enough judges. And there's so many cases to look at.
What does it take? Okay, now you don't have enough judges, right? You budgeted 1.7 trillion for SUVs What does a court building cost? And how much is the take-home pay of a judge? Every year, Nigerians are graduating from the law school. Some are going to the bar, some are going to the bench. So I don't think it's a question of manpower. It's us sticking to our old ways of doing things. We are digressing into the slowness of our justice system now. But the truth of the matter is that take a look at your studio, how up to date in terms of equipment and facility. This is private sector. If you go to the banks, you see private sector in action. The CCTV camera, the ACs are cooling, everything is working. Take a trip to any of the newly commissioned court buildings in Rivers State and tell me how many of them the ACs are still working. Why do we still move files, manual files? Why can't I access judgments or legal documents in an archive, a digital archive? So that's another thing altogether. But my concern is with the Senate this morning. What is going to come out of this? That's the question we should be asking. I'm not excited about throwing up figures just to show that you are there. You approved this money. You had an oversight duty. You should have supervised the budget every year to say, guys, where are the SUVs? Another problem. Why are we buying SUVs? Because the roads are bad.
True.
The roads are bad.
That's the truth.
When I was growing up, government vehicles were saloon cars. I don't need to mention the brand, but anybody who grew up in the 70s and 80s knew what brand the government was using at the time. And they were all saloon cars. Low cars. But today the roads are bad. And so you're buying a particular truck for escort. And then they need another higher one for... And these guys don't repair vehicles. The vehicles just get missing. So the Senate, they can say that to someone else, not to those of us who know them very well. We heard about the NDDC probe. What has been done about that? We only off the mic, and that was the end of it.
We actually did turn off the mic.
Yes, we were told to off the mic, and we did, and that was the end. So maybe, who knows, they may just turn off the speaker this time around.
Mr. Marcus. All right, one more story, and then we'll open the phone lines to take reactions. We have a lot of reactions already on Facebook to take, so drop yours, Super FM PH. Now, this is a story happening in Port Harcourt, that happened in Port Harcourt. Police confirmed arrest of sex workers who lure underage girls into prostitution. This is in Port Harcourt. Now, the Rivers State Police Command has confirmed the arrest of some suspected commercial sex workers who allegedly forced underage girls for sex work in a brothel around Azikiwe Street, Mile 2, Diob, Port Harcourt. Now, there are this is just one. Before the governor clamped down on that whole Sani Abacha street.
The industry.
You know that very popular street.
Industry, yeah.
We saw, for someone like me who has to work nights sometimes after an event and I'm on my way home, some of the little girls I see on the streets, some of them are as young as 14. Not the big-sized 14, but you can tell that this is underage, and you see them getting into vehicles.
Obi,
it's not that they are trying to charter a drop.
Obi, let me tell you something. The police is just being reactionary.
And you know, one of the questions I ask is there nobody looking for these little girls?
Yeah, that's why I said the police is just being reactionary. They need to be seen to be working. Arresting underage prostitutes. Maybe if they arrest...
They arrest the people who lure them.
Yes, if you arrest the people who lure them and you have evidence, you can prosecute them for child trafficking, for exploitation, for slavery, whatever the law says, let them prosecute them. I know the police has the capacity to do that.
Absolutely.
But that is treating, we are just reacting to symptoms. Obi, ask yourself, where do orphans go to from our orphanage homes when they turn teens? I found this firsthand, having visited 2 homes for street children, one of them in Rumasi, the other one in Diobo. And then it dawned on me that we don't have the culture of adoption. People just want to pray their way into pregnancy. Nobody's thinking, oh, I don't have a child. Let me adopt one from the orphanage and train. So we don't do all of that. So when orphans become teenagers, most of these homes literally drive them away because they become bullies to the younger orphans in the orphanage homes.
Because they're also, they turn out troubled.
Yes, I get, but that's because nobody has shown them love, right? So today they are arresting prostitutes, young prostitutes that are being lured, right?
They're arresting those sex workers who lure the young ones. Who lure them.
There are other contractors who are luring the male ones to sell in traffic. Today we set up task force to clear the streets. The truth of the matter is that there are merchants who give these people these products to sell, underage children products to sell, because these children, you know, on one hand we're saying, oh, it's lack of home training. I know someone is going to call in to say that, but the truth is that there was no home in the first place. And then the final stage is we have parents who just want to have sex, who don't want to be responsible for the upkeep of their children. So you push these children, because for you to lure me, there must be something within me that is attracted to what you were saying.
Right.
You understand? So the government needs to do something. The parents need to do something. Society needs to change their orientation about children. We need to be more caring, more loving. People come to wash your windshield on the traffic. Each time they try it, I try to ask questions. Why are you not in school? And you get to hear very painful stories. And these are future armed robbers. And tomorrow the police is going to arrest underage armed robbers. But the factory is already on the streets of Port Harcourt. They are already there being trained in traffic. If you see where these guys fight, they are very brutal. Young people, 13, 14, 15, some below. And they sleep on the street. So it's not just the girls that are in trouble here. The male are also in trouble, being recruited into criminal gangs. So the police have to do more to trace them to their parents and find out what their parents did to stop them from being lured into these illicit activities.
Okay. All right, right now we're going to just take a quick look at all the stories that we have. Health workers absent as measles outbreak kill 50 in River State. We're going to talk about that in a moment. Troops raid Boko Haram illegal market, kill 4 terrorists in Borno. Again, Ondo Amotekun intercepts 168 suspected invaders with 40 motorcycles. We also have certificate forgery. Court fixes 7th of September to hear suit against Tinubu. Labour minister at 70 Ngige puts interest of workers first, says Buhari. WAEC releases 2022 WAEC results and withholds 365,564. Wow, quite a number of stories. But yes, let's take your reactions. But before that, Mr. Marcus, this issue of certificate forgery, the court case against the standard bearer of the All Progressives Congress at the presidential level. What's your opinion on it? I mean,
I'm excited because the new electoral law makes it possible for us to tidy up every pre-election issues before the elections. So these are pre-election matters. Credential issues are very serious issues when it comes to election and people holding public offices. So I'm glad that it's coming up now. I'm hoping that the court will expedite action on it. Of course, it's the VIP case.
Of course. So, it's a VVIP
case. So let them quickly get done with it so that we can focus on the election.
Absolutely. All right. So on the Amotekun intercepting 168 suspected invaders with 40 motorcycles.
I feel like that is quite sensational. We have many challenges in Nigeria. One of them is our porous borders.
Right.
Especially in the northern part of the country. For the first time in my life, I was on my way back from Calabar, and I was stopped by immigration. We was a commercial bus we took from Port Harcourt here. We were stopped. Everybody disembarked from the bus. We were asked for identity card. If you don't have an identity card, you need to call your state, your local government, and your village. And we're doing that because of the Amazonia crisis in Cameroon, that a lot of foreigners are crossing into Nigeria from the cross river end of the Nigerian border.
Right.
And at the point I wanted to feel very impressed that finally immigration
But it's scary.
Yes, I've woken up and I'm asking myself, I've also been to Kano, I've been to Kaduna, I've been to a lot of places in the north, Sokoto and all. I've never been stopped anywhere around that side to be questioned. But the challenge is that we have a lot of treaties in ECOWAS, which makes it possible for somebody to come into Nigeria without passport. At least he or she can stay for 90 days. So you cannot now stop me from going to Ondo, even if I'm from Niger. I have at least 90 days or so. I don't know if the treaty has been changed, but the last time I checked, it was 90 days. So the Nigerian can step into Ghana. All you need is just your national ID card, even if you don't have a passport. So these people, are they really, okay, the word says suspected Boko Haram, but these are also, it's also
suspected invaders.
It's suspected invaders. So these could also be displaced Nigerians, legitimate Nigerians, who were displaced either from their community in Katsina, in Zamfara, trying to seek a more peaceful part of the country to settle. So you cannot label people invaders just because they are from a particular section.
And they're carrying bikes. We know the history with bikes nowadays.
Yeah. So, carrying before bikes became a tool for terrorism, It was a
trade
trade.
tool.
Yes, it was. Before I got to your studio here, I saw a lot of bikes parked outside.
Absolutely.
They are not terrorists. These are young men who are trying to make a living for themselves. So this could also be young men. But again, all I can say now is that thorough investigation need to be carried out. They need to be profiled. And then we can detect if any of them was on the wanted list or those who broke out from Abuja prison, then that's a job for the police. Amotekun should quickly hand over to the police and then let the police do the proper profiling. But my pain is that Nigerian police, sincerely speaking, do not have an up-to-date database. I must tell you that for free.
It's not just the Nigerian police, but I mean, there's not enough anywhere.
I applied for a visa to go to China about 2 years ago, and for the first time, I was being profiled by the police. That was the first time my fingerprint was being taken. Because it was a requirement from the Chinese embassy. And Obi, to shock you, it was done in Abuja, the CID headquarters in Abuja. And I was told to come back in 3 or 4 days to get my reply because it was sent to Lagos. And I'm asking myself, why can't this be processed in Abuja? Why must it be sent to Onikon? Why must it be sent to Zone 2 in Lagos before I can get? So why can't we profile people in every every police station? You go to every bank branch, you can't get your ATM without thumb printing.
Absolutely.
So why should somebody step into a police station without being captured biometrically? Does that take too much?
Interesting angles and thoughts you've raised right there. All right, the phone lines are open 0705-079-1021 and 0811-7431-021. Call to leave your comment, but make it really quick, less than 1 minute. Good morning, Super FM Port Harcourt.
Hello.
Good morning, sir. Welcome.
Good morning, my sister. My name is Chief Comrade Henry.
Yes, please. You have less than 1 minute. Go ahead.
Yes, ASU and federal government. Federal government is saying that they cannot go and borrow such amount of money to fund ASU.
Yes.
I think they can borrow money to do rail to Niger and also buy car for the public. I think it's necessary. If there is no money, and the children have to go to school, because that is why we are having insecurity here and there, because the children are not well taken care of. So let the children go to school. Better still, for me, the federal government can sell Aso Rock. The state government can sell their government houses and ensure that our children go to school, because whatever it takes, let the children go to school. That's my take.
All right, thank you.
God bless you.
God bless you. Super FM Port Harcourt, good morning.
Good morning, presenter.
Good morning. Good morning, sir. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Hello?
I'm from Africa.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm just so sad over the situation in Nigeria. There is no day you wake up and you hear good news concerning Nigerian state. I'm just tired. We need God intervention. I'm just tired. At least I know when I went from 70s to 80, I know the condition of Nigeria. But now the way we are seeing things, instead of us going up, we are gradually coming down every day. There's no day you tune in radio and you hear good news. See the kind of news people like TV. No good news concerning Nigeria.
We gave some.
There was good news.
There was a lot of good
Unilag
news.
Teaching Hospital, they're doing a transplant for the first time.
And the military making some progress, with neutralizing insurgents, but you didn't hear that part. Hello, good morning, Super FM Port Harcourt. Good morning. Super FM Port Harcourt, good morning. Hello, good morning. Good morning. Ola Kani, your line is not very clear, so can you just move a bit and then continue? Okay, sorry, it's that bad. Super FM, good morning.
Good morning, the very distinguished Obi. How are you doing this morning?
Very well, Mr. Temple. Go ahead, real quick.
Yes, so wishing you a very fantastic Tuesday morning.
Thank you so much.
Ngige is celebrating 70 years.
Yes, please.
Am I right?
Yes, sir.
I think I was wishing a wonderful birthday celebration. I think, as far as I'm concerned, he remains the supervisor, minister of strike, as far as this government is concerned. And I want to appeal with immediate alacrity. Mr. President telling him that he should take the interest of the workers.
No, Mr. President is saying that Ngige has the interest of workers at heart.
Okay, he has the interest of workers
especially in the way he pays salaries and all of that.
Oh, this is interesting with immediate alacrity. He has the interest of workers at heart.
Yes.
Why ASU strike ASU members are on strike. That he still has. What is this? Does it mean that Mr. President is so lackadaisical about the issue happening within the confines of this country? Or is Mr. President telling me that he's not aware that ASU members are still on strike while the students are still languishing at home? If indeed they have the interest of workers, in fact, he has it at heart, according to Mr. President, will he, as the labor minister, watch ASU striking lecturers still at home at this point in time? That makes sense to us.
Right.
Or Mr. President, trying to make it look as if.
All right, thank you. Well, calm down. Wait till Bigal. Oh, Biko. All right, let's move away from there and take comments on social media. Quite a number of those. Let's see how much we can take. All right, Eeyore Gentle says, good morning, presenter. Court fixes 7 September to hear case. I see this as a waste of judicial time. I don't want to preempt the courts, but of a truth, nothing is coming out of this suit. It is just a distraction. Politicians should concentrate on issue-based campaigns. All right, moving away from that one now. It's a long comment. Atiku camp, Wike camp, return to trenches. I don't think whether PDP will succeed come 2023 in Rivers State because Wike is so worried concerning Atiku behavior, and those two genders don't want to agree on one thing. Wike, all right, this is from Celestine. Thank you very much. Barry Foster says, everyone has a right to seek judicial redress, but this is pure wastage of judicial time. I'm still talking about September 7th to hear the case against Tinubu. Honorable Mobula says, court fixes. Okay, this is quite interesting to a lot of people. Those who sue Tinubu have the right to do so, but should not forget how the one instituted against Buhari ended. They should save their time and money. Tinubu is the most qualified academically and otherwise among all seeking to run the affairs of our great country. Interesting angle. All right, and that's from Honorable Mubula. Comrade Barry Abarige says, Wike camp, Atiku camp, return to trenches. Wike, by now should have moved on beyond the developing issues of the PDP presidential primaries. The earlier Wike wakes up from the nostalgia of the defeat from the PDP primary election, the better for him, else he will be a loser of everything. Comrade Clinton says, good morning. Wike Atiku camp, wow. What were they expecting? Were they expecting Wike to jump at them and say, Daddy, oyoyo? They humiliated a man who committed all the state resources into making PDP what it is. I mean, isn't that even a derogatory comment, if you think about it? Mr. Marcus saying that the governor of Rivers State committed state resources, all of the state resources into seeing. This is an allegation, first of all.
There's no evidence of that. There's no evidence. Those are the Apollo discussions.
Absolutely. All right, Cosmos says court fixes September 7 to hear Tinubu's case. The earlier the people begin to focus on what will happen, and trying to talk to electorates than wasting their time in court again, the better for them. All right, let's see whether we've got messages on our text line. I believe we do, but let's take one more call. Super FM Potaka, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Super FM.
Good morning, sir. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I am Wala Wukoma. I am calling from Oyibo local government.
All right, real quick, make it very sharp.
Okay. This issue of certificate forgery, does this issue supposed to come after primaries has been conducted or before? Because the qualification supposed to start when an individual couldn't bring an authentic certificate, not when that person has spent huge amount of money to conduct a primaries and gotten the flag. This issue of certificate now comes. So help us to tell the government the next tenor, any aspirant before.
So excuse me, sorry sir, I hear you and I understand what you're saying very well. So when is the next tenure? Is this not the next tenure that we are expecting? Has the next tenure started already?
What I mean by that is this issue of certificate is supposed to come first before primaries will be conducted.
No, I think this is the right time. Because if it had come before the primaries and he didn't win the ticket, it would have been a waste. You know.
And then when this disqualification suppose is this when that person has
this is the time. Well, hey, nobody sent anybody to spend any amount of money. They did so of their own volition. You know. But I get your
Okay,
points.
guys.
I understand you. Thank you so much. We don't have time for all of that, but we appreciate you. Wow. Whew, the comments are quite a lot on Facebook this morning.
Yeah, Nigerians are very active.
Chinwe Wanko says, good morning, Wiki and Atiku matter now, morning. Let them continue. All right, on WhatsApp, good morning. My name is Comrade Leighton Barry Sunday. Wiki Atiku camp. I just want to advise Wiki to leave Atiku alone because Atiku has nothing to offer him, not even to talk about Nigerians. Let me ask, has Atiku ever won election in this country? Wike should not bother himself engaging in unfruitful reconciliation because even if both of them agreed, Atiku will still fail. Please go and join force with Bola Tinubu, who is the president in waiting. Interesting. President in waiting, and we've not gone to the polls. Okay, then. Well, please give me your last words for now.
My last word is more or less of a word of encouragement to Nigerians. It's not a hopeless situation. We have some ray of hope, even from the headlines we had this morning. Nigerians should keep hope alive. And then as we approach the next election, punish those you don't like with your PVC, and then reward those you like with your PVC. So keep hope alive. We can't afford to be hopeless at this point. So let's all, now that we are done with registration, ensure you collect the PVC, ensure you use it judiciously. Do not sell your vote so that by the time we are having this show in 2023, we'll have more positive headlines than the negative ones.
Interesting. All right. Thank you so much for staying on the program with me this morning. I'm still here anyways, and we're going to be looking at some issues that have come up as a result of the statewide broadcast made by His Excellency, the Governor of Rivers State. And if you didn't hear about the broadcast, we'll do you one solid and take that again, and then we'll go into that. But specifically, we're looking at a recommendation made by the SDP governorship candidate, Senator Magnus Abe. He's asking that the state governor, instead of making these kinds of statements that could cause fear in the minds of voters and all of that, why not call for a stakeholders meeting where all political aspirants will come together and discuss on how to, address the issue of cultist recruitment, thugs recruitment and all of that for the overall good and peace of the election process before, during, and after. We'll talk about that, and we'll get your opinion on it. Don't go anywhere. It's a Super Breakfast Show. My name is Obi Ivy, and it's Super 93.3 FM Port Harcourt. I Am Properties comes your way just now.
I love this radio station. Keep listening to Super FM.
Real quick, I do have a guest with me in the studio, and he is a representative of I Am Properties, Mr. Phil Ndukwe. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Port Harcourt and beyond, wherever you're listening from right now. My name is Phil Ndukwe from I Am Properties.
All right, so tell us about I Am Properties. What are you people all about?
Okay, I'm excited to let you know about I Am Properties. I Am Properties is a genuine real estate company that is headquartered right here in the city of Port Harcourt. Yes, by God's grace, over the years, we have helped a lot of men and women become landlords. Men who never believed that they could become landlord at this time in their life. Some of them are some of our clients are petty traders, some are just people who are struggling with minimum wage in Nigeria, but we have helped them with amazing plans to become landlords in this city of Port Harcourt. Now, we are not just attending to people who want to become landlords, we're also attending to those who have bulk money in the bank. And instead of them actually having this money increased, the bank alerts and problems of life just keep deducting the money. So we encourage them to invest into the real estate sector, because you will agree with me, especially here in the city of Port Harcourt, that any money you put into a genuine landed property, especially virgin properties, that it will only grow up and never come down. And I would like to tell you some of the properties that God have given to us, which we are using to help people achieve this vision. Now, we have a very beautiful estate. Yes, a very beautiful estate. We call this one the Nora Scott Luxury Estate. It's situated right beside the international airport. This location is called Ipo, and this amazing estate is going on a promo price of just ₦1 million. Yes, ₦1 million. You have a privilege to be in an estate where commissioners and good people like you have bought into. And now we have another one beside it right there at Ipo. We call this one the Savannah Estate. Savannah Estate is still on an amazing promo of 1.5 million. This is an estate you need to see how beautiful it is. Now we have another 2 estates which we have been announcing recently. These 2 estates is sharing fence with New River State University. Yes, the New River State University site. If you have missed the opportunity to have a property around Uniport, around Unilag, this is another opportunity for you to buy into this environment. Our own property is sharing fence right beside this school, which is newly built. Everything is ready for school to start. Now we have the Diamond Hills Estate there. We have the campus garden, and you can get a plot of land for just as low as 650,000 naira. In case you're interested in doing business with IM Properties, I want you to call us on these numbers right now: 090 908 888 01. I call the numbers again: 090 908 88801.
All right, sir. At this point, what are your payment plans? Because, you know, you've mentioned these amounts, and although there's still promo prices,
Yeah.
do we have opportunities for people who may not be able to pay out